No.
Officer Miller thought it was just another traffic stop. Minutes later, a young black Navy SEAL's son lay dying on the pavement. Hours later, the officer's home was surrounded, not by protesters, but by elite military operators led by the boy's father, Colonel Nathaniel Carter. What followed would expose corruption, tear apart a police department, and change the meaning of justice forever. Before we begin, make sure you subscribe to Blackish Focus. Here, we bring you true, emotional, and motivational stories that shine light on injustice, resilience, and the power of standing for truth. David Carter was just 21, a pre-med student with a bright future. Driving through the Willow Creek district to pick up his girlfriend, he was cautious, polite, and followed every rule his father had drilled into him. Hands visible, announce every move, stay calm. But Officer Gregory Miller wasn't looking for compliance, he was looking for control. Known for racial profiling and excessive force complaints, Miller stalked David until a minor turn signal delay gave him an excuse. As David explained himself respectfully, Miller grew angry, perceiving calmness as defiance. When David leaned to pick up his wallet, Miller fired 3 shots, killing him instantly. Nearby, a retired nurse recorded the entire encounter. Her video showed David's hands visible, his calm voice announcing movements, and Miller's cold indifference as the young man bled out. Within hours, the footage spread online, sparking outrage. But this time, the victim wasn't just another name. The victim was the son of a decorated Navy SEAL commander. Colonel Nathaniel Carter had prepared for the worst. A lifetime of military service had taught him both the fragility of Black lives in America and the importance of strategy. The moment he received the call, he launched Protocol Phoenix, a contingency plan designed to confront systemic injustice with precision. Within hours, his home became a command center. Trusted veterans, Army Rangers, SEALs, intelligence officers filled the rooms with laptops, maps, and encrypted radios. Civil rights attorney Angela Price mobilized legal strategies. Surveillance experts deployed into Miller's neighborhood. Their mission wasn't revenge, it was justice, pursued lawfully but relentlessly. While Miller sat at home drinking bourbon, convinced the system would shield him, Carter's network dismantled that illusion. They tracked his routines, infiltrated police chatter, and dug up years of buried complaints, all targeting minorities. They didn't break laws. They didn't threaten violence. Instead, they documented, preserved, and released information strategically. Anonymous officers came forward, admitting quotas and bias. Online, the video gained millions of views, shifting public opinion against Miller and his department. Meanwhile, subtle psychological pressure mounted. Unfamiliar cars idling near his house, neighbors whispering, late-night calls with no answer. Miller felt hunted, not by guns, but by truth. Days into the operation, Miller's family life crumbled. His wife questioned him. His daughter faced bullying at school. Then one night, the neighborhood's power went out. To Miller, it felt orchestrated. Outside, silhouettes of operatives moved confidently, cameras blinking red. Inside, he panicked, barricading doors and clutching his weapon. The blackout wasn't sabotage, it was coincidence. But Carter's team documented every reaction, feeding it into the growing case. Miller's paranoia deepened, his isolation complete. By the time subpoenas arrived, he was unraveling. On day 5, Miller's fear exploded. He posted in extremist forums, begging armed supporters to surround his home. A handful answered, but most melted away when police SWAT units closed in. Floodlights bathed his house, helicopters roared, and bullhorns demanded surrender. At that moment, Carter himself called Miller. His voice wasn't vengeful, it was calm, steady, commanding. "I hate what you did. I hate the system that allowed it. But your death won't fix either. Walk out alive. Face justice." Through tears and fear, Miller finally listened, not to the police, not to his lawyer, but to the father of the man he had killed. Hours later, he surrendered peacefully. The grand jury indicted Miller for first-degree murder. His prior misconduct records, once buried, were exposed. Fellow officers testified against him. Medical experts confirmed deliberate intent in his shooting. The jury found him guilty. At sentencing, Judge Patel declared, "You swore to protect. Instead, you destroyed. Life without parole." Colonel Carter spoke calmly. "My son complied." Compliance did not save him. Each abuse without consequence destroys trust. This verdict must drive real change. But Carter didn't stop at conviction. With attorney Angela Price, he forced the city into a $25 million settlement, which funded the David Carter Foundation for Police Accountability and Reform. The foundation pursued 3 pillars: independent oversight boards with subpoena power, legal support for families harmed by misconduct, bias and de-escalation training for officers. Even more, Carter expanded youth mentorship programs, pairing teens with tutors, doctors, and community leaders. Ironically, some of the very kids David had quietly mentored were friends of Miller's daughter. Instead of bitterness, Carter built bridges, offering scholarships even to officers' families. "Innocent children don't deserve to pay for their parents' sins," he said. This story is not about vengeance. It's about justice. Colonel Carter's discipline proved that real change requires preparation, truth, and relentless persistence. Miller lost his freedom. The city lost its illusions. But America gained a blueprint: fight injustice with law, not rage. If Colonel Carter's story moved you, remember, justice isn't about anger. It's about accountability and change. Backhand index pointing right. Subscribe to Blackish Focus for more powerful, emotional, and true stories that remind us how resilience, dignity, and courage shape real reform.